Welcome to Spiritual and Sassy, the podcast where we bleed deep soul wisdom with authentic confidence.
We're your host,
Tressa
and Myra, and together we'll explore the mystical side of life, challenge societal norms and programming, and embrace our inner power.
Whether you're on a spiritual journey or just love a little sass, this space is for you.
Let's dive in and light up the world with a little more love.
Here we are. Hi.
Hello.
This is weird. Like it's a weekday, Wednesday.
I
middle
know.
of the day.
It is the middle of the day. I'm glad though. It's been one of those. I mean, gosh, it's been one of those couple last weeks. I don't even know. It's never ending. It feels like. But yeah, Drakey got sick from school. He started preschool, and I kind of expected it. I knew because he's lived in our home bubble for almost 2 years. Or if he did, and he really honestly didn't get sick very often. He stayed relatively really healthy. I mean, it would be minor things here and there, but he hadn't been sick since he was a baby, like since we moved here. I think Tressa and I went on a trip for work and he was sick, and he really hasn't been sick since then, like when we went to New York. So
Yeah,
that's been a minute. Yeah. And so he got sick, and he's sick, and it's a virus, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Like the flu, or
he has hand, foot, and mouth. I'm not happy about
that.
it.
What the hell's that?
It sucks. It's awful. It's awful. I hate it.
A rash, or tell me.
It's all over, everywhere, and it's on his little hands and face, and he hates it, and he's looking at himself going, like, he makes his face like he hates it. He wants it off, and it's so pitiful. And oh my gosh, I thought I'd never, I don't know, parents that listen to this podcast, if you have small children or you have younger children, maybe you've thought of this too, but I used to be like, oh yeah, we've avoided that one. Well, it came. And I hate it. And there's nothing, it stinks. It doesn't physically stink. It has to run its course, but I've literally bought like 4 different variations of disinfectant spray because I don't want it, and I really don't want Magnolia to get it. And so
is it pretty contagious?
It's very contagious. And so it's so sad because we were notified last week another child had it. And so they didn't know because the signs don't show up for several days. And then once it happens, it's like wildfire, basically. So it almost took 3 days before he even showed any symptoms or signs. And so I've been very, precautious this weekend. Yeah. Cautious. I don't even know the word. It doesn't sound right. English. I don't know. So I'd already kind of like treated life, I ain't been around certain people, vulnerable people, babies, but I've been just kind of like playing it out, and it showed up. So we're living in like 2 separate parts of our home. I told Blake it feels like the COVID days whenever it was like super high, and everyone was like separate. And that's what I feel like right now, because I just don't want her to get it, and she's almost too old to get the same kind of symptoms. Like there's an age range where your immune system's weaker when you're younger, it's the whole thing, but there's nothing we can do, and I hate that. I can't do anything. I've make him comfortable, try to let it run its course, stay clean. We've just been cleaning, so yeah, it's the worst.
Poor little guy. Yeah,
I know, I'm over it.
But it'll build his immune system up.
It will, and then he's immune to this strand, so if it keeps running its course through the lovely daycare, then he will be immune to it. So it's not fun.
Do it. Some Epsom salt baths for him.
Yeah, that, and then basically you want it to dry out. And once it's dried out, then you're less contagious and the sores go away. So Epsom salt, yes, that's on he loves the water, so he's been playing in just water.
Yeah, that's good.
Staying cold. Yeah, like running through water, all the things. That's that. Yeah, but I didn't mean to get that. Wow, what a terrible way to start the episode. But yeah, no, that's that. We're all just living life.
This is all part of it.
It is, yeah. So I've saged the house, I think, once a week the last 3 weeks. That's a lot for me. I don't normally sage
house today. Yeah.
I don't. I've just felt really
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt kind of called to do every time I've cleaned.
Yeah.
And I've been doing like really deep cleans. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that way right now, but like, I don't know if I clean. I'm not a, a slob, but this is like next level clean for me. Like when I'm cleaning baseboards every time, or I'm cleaning certain places and areas deeper and deeper every time. And I feel like I'm like called to just clean. Like I can't stop cleaning. I don't know. I'm cleaning and shedding. I'm shedding, I guess, and moving out of a season. But I've been really trying to keep the energy in our home protected just because of a lot of the energy in the world today and like outside
Yeah.
sources. And, Magnolia's energy when she goes to school comes home. Draco's around people. We're all, everybody's in different settings right now. And so I've been really trying to, I don't know. So I've been very called to sage every time I clean. So I don't know.
Well, yeah,
It's
I
what's
mean, I
happening.
think the energy of cleaning is what you described it as shedding or keeping your space to where
Hmm.
energy can flow good when you keep stuff clean or less clutter. So, yeah, I think it's a cool thing. And the deeper cleaning is like clearing the energy
Yeah.
even more so. I did that yesterday. Cleaned for quite a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. It's
Felt
been,
good.
and yeah. And like,
Yeah.
I do clean. I clean, and I spot clean and pick up and
Yeah.
whatever. I have 100 people and dogs, right? It's always something on the floor or everywhere.
Yeah.
But I've been like hardcore cleaning, and that's like several hours of cleaning every time I've cleaned. So,
Yeah, it's funny because I cleaned yesterday. I always have sage in my living room anyway, and I always light it, but I
hmm
haven't walked around the whole house recently in sage. So I
hmm
think I'll do that afterward and today.
yeah,
Yeah, I always sage in my living room because that's where we spend most of our time.
yeah. I sage in
Yeah.
my kitchen. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if
I
that
spend
like
a lot of time in there. Yeah.
Me too, and so does Blake, and we all congregate there somehow.
Yeah.
Like, we all just stare at each in the kitchen. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know the last time I've sat in my living room. I just stand in the kitchen, and I don't even cook. So, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing in the kitchen.
It must have a vibe.
I think, like,
Has a vibe.
it's
Yeah.
communal. Yeah, so I keep sage in my kitchen, and I light it when I clean, but
Yeah.
I've been walking it around,
Yeah.
so I don't know. The kitchen's
Yeah.
the heart of the home, they say. So, I don't know, maybe
I
we're
believe that.
we're
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Yeah.
We're
I love
really
being in my
hungry.
kitchen.
Yeah, we're like little birds. Like, Blake, feed us. Help us.
Like, just,
Please. We're so hungry. Uh,
that's funny.
yeah,
Yeah, I try to cook with love. I try to make a vibe when I cook.
I like that. Lately, I don't know. It's just time of year, right? Like these transitions, people are running everywhere. Like I said, everyone's back in school.
Yes, back to
I
school.
work, yeah, and I work remote, but even though I work remote, I bring in, so that I feel like I need to be even more protective of my space because I don't have separation between home and work. I'm in
That's
the home and
true.
work.
Yeah,
I'm in the same
that's true.
spaces.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm in a very fortunate position where I'm able to have my office separate from the rest of my home. So it's not like my office is in my living room or my office, it's adjacent to the bedroom, but it's not in the bedroom. So I'm very fortunate and blessed to have a separation space. So it's not like all in one room or all in one area. So I'm able to really hyper focus on this space and really trying to keep the energy clean in it. And
Yeah.
I sage in here a lot, and I also I keep several of my crystals in here too. I've started one day I was like, they all just came in here, and I'm like, well, they need to be here. So like
They
whatever
just
reason
arrived.
they arrived, they just went doo doo bloop, and like I'll rearrange and clean. Like they just said, yeah, we're coming home, and I'm like, sure, bro, come on in. So like it's a mix. Yeah, I was like, come help, SOS, whatever, and
Yeah.
like Blake, when he works remote, shares the same space. So now he's kind of in the party. So we have to keep it like extra happy, joy, cleansed, whatever's going
Yeah.
on in here. We have to keep it vibing or it ain't
It's
gonna
funny
vibe.
how, yeah, when I went to see my friend a few weeks ago down in Salt Lake, Mandy, who has
hmm
Grace, we went to a metaphysical store down that was fairly new down by her
hmm
house. And it's so funny to just let yourself get drawn into the certain crystals. I got a turquoise, it's like an Indian turquoise one.
Oh,
I can't
pretty.
remember the exact name of it, but it's something Indian. And then a blue one. It's really, really beautiful. I just
That's cool.
loved, I don't even know. And I've just been packing them around with me. I hadn't had crystals with me for a while. I mean, I have a ton, but I hadn't been drawn to like keep them with me.
Yeah. Well,
So,
usually you pack them in your purse.
yeah.
Weapons
Oh,
of
I always,
choice.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. My prosperity one I always have in my purse, but these ones I've been putting in my pockets this last few weeks since I got them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I haven't worn a crystal in a really long time myself.
Yeah.
Like I would shove them in places,
Oh yeah, down your bra.
and they'd
Yeah, and
like
your
fall
boobs. I
out
get
and
it. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Nola's like, what the hell?
I
Yeah.
haven't done that in forever.
I
Like,
haven't done it in a long time. And so yeah, I don't know. I haven't even bought a crystal in a long time.
yeah, I hadn't either till that day.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's cool.
yeah,
I love
it was
that.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. You're already starting on the topic.
I know. It's just,
Yeah.
it,
It just kind of,
it's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah. We want to chat about what ingredients, I like the word ingredients when you think about
Hmm.
it, are you putting into your frequency? So what are you digesting? And I think our society's set up to think about that from a perspective of nutrition
Hmm.
because everyone's focused on that a lot. But I think it's so much deeper than that. I think there's absolutely truth to that, right? What are you digesting food wise and nutrients in your body? And we've talked about that on a few episodes as well, like intuitive eating and what serves your body in different moments. But I think it's also, what are you consuming from the media? What are you consuming from others? Everything that you take in, especially if you don't have an awareness, is going to impact your frequency. And the frequency that you have is what you're going to receive back. Everything's a mirror to that. And so it's been interesting with the dynamics of the shooting, Charlie Kirk, right? Did I say the name right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just all the media that's happened around that. What are you taking in around that? Are you putting out the frequency of fear, of sorrow, are you allowing that to dictate your frequency? And so often we do. That's why I don't even consume anything from I don't watch any news ever because I don't want to give energy into that frequency. It's all a fear frequency. And so I just choose to not digest anything around that. It's interesting. I was having a conversation with one of my friends about it, and they're like, well, I get that, but you need to be informed about what's happening because it's the world you're living in. I'm like, no, I don't. Because the world that I'm living in isn't the world that I believe we should be living in. So if I give energy to that, I continue to manifest that, right? What you're putting out, what you're focusing on, you continue to bring more of that to you. So if I divert my energy into what I want, right? And what I want is an energy of love, an energy of freedom, an energy of people being able to be diversified but still love each other for who they are and their authenticity. That's what I put my energy into. So it was an interesting conversation that I had with my friend. They see things, and that's okay. We can see things differently.
Yeah. I don't watch the news. I honestly don't really watch television like that. If I watch a show, I'm streaming. I just don't, or if I see things, sports are streamed, but they're also part of larger networks and, hoorah. But other than that, I really don't consume television that way, or I don't consume news through the television that way. And I also really don't, my social media is not curated to feed me my algorithm because everything's on an algorithm, right? It's all curated based on
Mhm.
what you're interested in or what you like or what you interact with or engage with on content. And I'm not really served anything political either. I do believe in knowledge. I believe knowledge is power. I do believe it is good to know, and I am grateful for the right to be informed.
Mhm.
But when I am informed, I do listen to what I'm being informed about and make my own opinion of that information. Because a lot of the times, I do follow one news in quotations. She's a journalist and she's not a part of a network. She's not a part of anything. Like she is neutral and she shares everything. So there is nothing off the table. I don't know who she's affiliated with. It's not associated to anything political. It's not associated. And I don't seek her out, but if it's served to me, I skim through or whatever. But I'm not, a lot of the people that I personally interact with in my own life are very consumed by the news. They're very
Mhm.
consumed by information and they seek it out constantly. Like they feel that's when we're talking about the ingredients, that's their number one ingredient. Like they keep putting
Yeah.
it in, putting it in, putting it in. And, politics aside, news aside, I agree with you 100%. I talked about it a couple episodes ago. I stopped following a lot of influencers or bloggers
Yeah.
or whatever title we want to give to them because I felt like I was giving away my power. I was one, showed me things I personally needed to work on because I was triggered by them. I was triggered by the way that they were spending their on money or the things that they were getting. And so to me, that I needed to sit with that energy and get comfortable with something else. That was a reflection of what I needed to personally work on. I'm happy for them. And so I'm grateful for that experience so that I could work on something, but I also don't need to digest it either. I don't need to I don't believe in overconsumption. So I've been working on that too, because before I was filling my life with void. That was something I kept pouring into my life when I felt sad or alone or stressed out or uncomfortable because I needed to feel something. So it was that, dopamine rush. And so those people no longer align with me anymore because I don't believe in that overconsumption. I don't believe in feeding my soul with stuff, with physical material
Mm-hmm.
items anymore. So that leads me to a quote that I saw just before Tressa and I got on, and it was in perfect alignment with exactly what Tressa wanted to talk about with the episode today and what we are in agreement. The quote was on a podcast episode. I forgot the name of it now. As told Tressa, I read it off, and
You
this
told
young
me.
man. Yeah, I did. But Dr. Will Cole, if you go to his Instagram or listen to his
Mm-hmm.
podcast, I forgot the name
Yeah.
of it. It's the podcast guest that he had on. Dr. Will Cole, he does talk about like what Tressa said, nutrition a lot. What are we consuming? But what I liked about this particular quote is it's a different level. It says you have to water the plant every day and cut out the weeds that only take from you. And so it goes exactly what Tressa's talking about. So we are the plant, our mind, our body, our soul is the plant. And like a plant, we have to water it. Like Tressa's talking about, you give it ingredients. What are you fueling your mind, body, and soul with? What are you feeling your mind, body, and soul with? And ultimately, like as you begin to add these ingredients into your life, whether, we're talking about the overconsumption of news or material items or whatever it may be, then whatever you put in, you're going to get that out. That's going to be your output. What Tressa's talking about you're going to be manifest in that world or that reality or that life or whatever it may be. So when you put in things that are good, in quotations, whatever it may be, whatever, let's say, for example, I've been really working on my value, my self-worth. We've talked about it on several episodes. And so I've been doing other things like I've mentioned before, gratitude, filling myself with gratitude. I've been feeling myself with positivity, celebrating certain wins, celebrating certain things for people, celebrating life differently. So I've been watering myself with that, for example. And what's shown me is that I need to cut weeds out. And for that, it was who I was following on social media. So that's like a perfect example in line with this quote. At that time, and now still, I don't align with those people. I don't miss them. I don't even miss the content. I had a friend, she knew I unfollowed everybody like that. And she sent me a video of the person, and I just didn't even, I went and looked at it for a second, but I didn't desire to know what else was happening. I didn't care anymore. So it showed me that I've completely outgrown that. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that connection. I don't need that piece, that ingredient anymore. And I've cut that weed out from my own life.
Yeah. That's interesting. Do you think that she sent that to you because she still is comfortable there and she wants you to be comfortable there to make her feel something? Because you told her
Yeah.
you told her why you did it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then she still is trying to engage you into something that she still feels comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept, right? I wrote that down even. Like we always want somebody else to make us feel something that,
Mm-hmm.
and was that her
Mm-hmm.
intention? Because we can be so highly influenced by others. One of the things you said is you believe knowledge is power, and that's true. But knowledge, if you take something in and you digest it for yourself from your heart, how are you going to respond? Not, I think a lot of us don't take the time to go, how do I feel about this? How do I want
Mm-hmm.
to take this information and how is it going to impact my frequency? I'm not just going to do what, Dawn over here thinks or Bertha over here thinks. I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to digest it for myself
Mhm.
and make a determination on what I'm going to give back to it. I think that's really the key is a heightened awareness around yourself. I think
Yeah.
most of us lack that.
I agree. I also think too, as you were talking, I think part of it also is some people, as you begin to outgrow things and outgrow people or situations or they don't know how to relate to you anymore.
Yeah,
And so
it's
they
true.
go back to that commonality that
Hmm.
once existed. And I don't even think truly that those influencers, bloggers, whatever, were feeling their life, feeling with an I. My accent, it sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but feeling, feeling their life the same way it was feeling mine.
Yeah,
So I think they were looking at it, and I think for them it was a connection because they do, media personality, social media. That's why these people are blowing up on TikTok. People feel a connection to them, and I hope
sure.
people listening to our podcast do feel a connection to us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so I think that they were using the connection piece to want to know what's going on in their lives and like what they're doing. We all have different vices or things or shadows, triggers, whatever, addictions. I don't whatever label somebody's putting on that. We all have different things, and for me, my dopamine hit, like I've mentioned, is shopping, right? We've talked about it a million times. And so that's exactly what these people started out doing, was sharing outfits and ideas and new things and technology and deals and sales. Who doesn't like a good bargain, And I loved it. I would do it. I would buy it instantly. The person sharing the content back to me wasn't doing that. They
Hmm.
don't do that. They are very guarded with their finances. They don't make impulse buying decisions. And if they do, it's very far and few between. We are two different people when it comes to those things. So the reason that I cut them out of my life was a totally separate way. I think they are interacting with this person. But I
Hmm.
think back to what I said originally, I feel like it's that commonality of a way to connect back. And this is a person, this is something we have in common. I want to connect with you back on this again.
Yeah, because it's where it's comfortable, or it's
Yep,
comfortable for them. And then when
exactly.
you switch, yeah, it happens to me quite a bit. I had a friend
Hmm.
texting me this week, and she was sharing something about an individual and very judgmental around this individual.
Hmm.
Um, and I sat there and read the text, and I'm like, I'm not engaging with that. I won't engage. Like, but and so I just commented on something else and just left that alone. And also
Yeah.
tried not to judge her for judging this
Mhm.
other person. You
Exactly.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
this cycle. Like,
Yeah.
am I in judgment of her because she's judging this person? And I had to take a minute just to say, no, I'm not judging her. This is her world. But I'm also going to I I'm going to hold my frequency at a different rate, and I'm not going to engage in bad mouthing this individual. And they have
Hmm.
no relevancy in my life. Like, they have no, I'm not giving energy to that. This person holds no power in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really, I don't know, the last few weeks, it's been everything around my energy has just been opening up my throat chakra more and more and more
Hmm.
to my authenticity. And I've really been speaking my truth a lot more and feeling very comfortable in it, and
Hmm.
feeling less pressure to change my vibration to let somebody
Hmm.
else feel comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
I've really kind of stepped in and leaned into the fact that if they're uncomfortable with who I am, that's their uncomfortability. Because
Yeah.
I really have realized so often that those ingredients I was taking in, I was letting my frequency drop
Hmm.
to a place to make other people feel comfortable. I've really been trying to embrace the fact that that's not serving me anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of, we were talking about, like, what ingredients are you putting in? And you were talking about, that's a cool quote. So what do you do every day, at a physical level, at a spiritual level? I call it self-care. When I work
Hmm.
with clients, one of the first things I ask them to do a lot of times is, give me your self-care routine. And it can't just be, I go to the gym, right? It's got to be at a deeper level. What do you do on all
Hmm.
of those levels to serve yourself on what ingredients you need for your own vibration? So what are you doing daily,
What am
weekly,
I doing?
monthly? Yeah. Sure.
I was
I
like,
mean,
oh,
I'm
is
just
this
saying.
hypothetical? Yeah.
Sure, it's hypothetical. No, I mean, I can share with you my routines.
I could share. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
share mine. I don't mind. Yeah. So I start my day in prayer. I will be honest. I don't always start 100% like right out the gate in prayer. That's just my personal sphere. I live with other people that depend on me. So if I don't always wake up, I don't always, they say wake up an hour early before everybody else. Yeah, that doesn't always happen. But I do in some form of fashion in the morning. I begin a day with prayer and I give gratitude I also personally start my day with affirmations for myself and my child because this is something as I'm doing her hair, we do
Yeah,
affirmations.
love
We
that.
because she's young. I want her. I know we say you can say anything you want, but it's what you're putting out there. But it's for me too. We go through affirmations before she goes into school to help reduce any anxiety around school about herself. Kids say things hurt people, right? Even at six
Yeah,
years old
yeah,
some of the things
for
that she's
sure.
been told recently are bizarre. And so I've been trying to build her up and build up her energy and her bubble to protect herself. So we do affirmations. That's just something that we do. And I always make a cup of coffee. That is my personal self care. I have to have coffee. It's for me. I need coffee every day. And I need it every morning, sometimes 100 cups. And I don't even drink it for caffeine. It's just purely of pleasure. But I was not moving my body. So, and we talked about it some too, where I used to move my body or work out as punishment, or like I ate this, so I need to lose weight and be a certain size, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah. The whole shebang. Now I move my body intentionally. I work out on the pace that I feel like I need to move and how I need to align in my heart rate. I've been working on my breath. And,
Hmm.
but I've been working on aligning my breath in my workout. Like, I don't want to be so, that's just, I'm not trying to, I've been really focused on, personally recently, I'm really trying to heal no, I just forgot it. Your nervous system. And so I've
Oh
been
yeah,
really working on that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that includes
Hmm.
cortisol, breath, that includes
Yes.
stressors and things that you have going on in your day. And I've been really trying to get comfortable in peace and calm because if I wrote down, I think I did an exercise or retreat a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm pretty sure I wrote down, I am chaos. Okay. I can't even believe I said that shit. Like now I can't. I'm like, what? So yeah, that's
I could see that,
not what
Myra, from the time I met you.
100%,
Yeah.
man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's a good
damn.
word. It
Yeah,
was
so,
chaos.
and so I don't want to be that. Like, I don't
Right.
want to feel,
Yeah.
and I don't feel that way
Hmm.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to teach my body to get comfortable in peace and calm. I don't want to keep going through these large, crazy cycles anymore. I just don't. And so I'm really working on getting out of that because my body feels comfortable in that, right? So it's moving through that, healing my nervous system. So I've been working on my breath, but I'll wrap this up because I'm not trying to go too far into this.
No,
Um,
you're good. All
what
good.
I've also been doing recently, so I do work out for me, and then I started coloring again. I used to paint a lot, and I haven't time, life, people, children, job, blah. I'm not doing that as much as I should do. And I love being creative. I love really dipping into that. That's where my passion, if I want to thrive and if I want my energy to thrive, my highest self is in something creative. I know that 100%. That is where the space I need to be in. And so I've bought coloring books over the years and don't touch them, And
Hmm.
recently I got this one and every day I pick a page and it's not something super dramatic and crazy and I color. And I love it for me because it's calming. It's also a form of meditation because I'm only focused on coloring. I'm not thinking
Yeah.
about anything else because it is really hard for me to meditate unless I'm doing a flame meditation. I got to stare at something. My Gemini mind is racing 24/7. This is just, it's to be fully shh is something that does not come as easy to me that I'm working on. So, coloring. And I get to pick the colors. I get to look and decide creatively where these colors are going to go and how they're going to get placed. And I've really felt a change in that for me. The other thing I started doing is I've been going on evening walks again. So like not only am I working out for me, I'm getting back out into nature because I really hadn't been
Hmm.
outside and that made me
Yeah.
sad. And for me and my soul, I need to be outside. And then I've also been reading again. I had stopped reading. And so every night I put my phone away. I used to not ever touch my phone at night and I've gotten back into the habit of it. And now I just sit the phone down and I don't pick it back up and I start reading and I read every night before bed. My sleep's improved. I've improved. I do skin rituals too, whatever it is. But this sounds all kind of basic and silly, but what it is these are the things that I've added back into my life that I enjoy, that I love to do, that have no rhyme or reason to it, that are allowing me to open me back up to being Myra, like what Myra wants to do and how Myra wants to feel her day and what that looks like. And I've totally seen a shift. It's been like, yes, sickness is here, things are going around, but like, I don't know, I've been I've been happier, I've been at peace. I feel calm. My sleep, like I said, is completely different. I'm getting into REM faster, deeper, longer. It's been amazing. So I can see the direct reflection of that for me personally.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Like, when you think about self-care and what ingredients are you putting into your mind, to your body, and to your spirit, it has to be unique to you. It has to
Hmm.
serve your soul. Has to be, and I love some of the things that you shared because it's going to be different for every person, right? But making sure, that that's balanced between the three energy bodies is important, that you're putting time into every aspect of it. And all the things that you talked about are so true. For me, I always start every day with grounding. My
Hmm.
first thing is I ground because we're on Mother Earth. We're using her energy. So I connect to her first. And then I always do my prayer, meditation, intention, whatever you want to call it, second. And that's like one of my daily routines. And I've really been focused more on body movement. So I've been hiking a lot. If I'm not able to go up in the mountains or walk up my hill, I've been doing just like core exercises, yoga, something
Hmm.
that serves my body, right? Helps my balance, those kind of things. But it's funny because you brought up breath. I'm a big believer in breath work, and I've taught breath work to a lot of clients of mine. But as I've been hiking this last week, I've really been focused on breathing. I noticed last week when I was hiking, when I was starting to walk up the hill, I was getting, you get out of breath. But I
Shortness of breath, yeah.
recognized everything was coming through my mouth.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, you need to train yourself to breathe through your nose. I've never been good. And
Hmm.
the crazy part is breath through your nose is really where you're going to increase your lung capacity. So I
Yeah.
stopped and I took some breaths through my nose, and it even felt so uncomfortable, Myra. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like I
Yeah.
honestly, because my
Yeah.
body has not done it for so long. So
Yeah.
as I've been hiking this week, I've really tried to consciously with my steps, are you breathing like consciously taking breath in through my nose and out through my mouth, and I can
Hmm.
already feel the difference in my lung capacity versus always breathing through my mouth. And I've been doing the same hike for a few days, and it's like every day it's getting a little bit easier because I'm focused on the breath in through the nose, and I can feel my lungs start to get more healthy,
Yeah.
So I love that you're focused on breath. And it's funny because back to reading, I just read, oh, I think it's called My Next Breath,
Oh. Hmm.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah. And it was interesting because he talked about when he got in that accident,
Hmm.
how all he could focus on was taking his next breath to keep himself alive. And
Hmm.
it's a good read if you're interested in it, but also getting back to more reading, right? And I've been reading more and doing those kind of things. And as I was thinking about this topic, I'm like, what ingredients do I need to cut out? And my guilty pleasure is those damn housewife shows, Myra. I still love those. I don't know if I can give them up. I'm not sure I'm ready.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I do. I'm like, I digest that house and that energy. Shit, it's horrible. It's
It
drama.
is horrible.
It's just awful. They're mean to each other. And it's those damn
It's all
housewives
right.
got me.
You're aware when you're watching it. That's the
Yeah, I
difference,
am
right?
aware. Yeah, I am aware.
Yeah.
Still, I'm taking it in. Still, I'm
Yeah.
taking it in.
Oh, I love that. And it's so funny because, like, honestly, I feel like if you'd asked me this maybe even just a year ago, I would have probably said something about like food. I would have talked about food.
Yeah.
And I'm not even thinking about that anymore because it's not my focus. And I trust me, I don't eat like 100% clean. I would be love to be better, but it's no longer a focus anymore because it's not my whole world anymore. My mind has expanded past that. Like I think about
Yeah.
like I just said exercise and I just said,
Because
eating
that was your
like you
whole
said, yeah,
focus
or whatever.
before.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like that to me equaled self-care, right? Or like
Yeah.
that to me meant my best self or my best version. And I did bring up skincare routine at the end, and I had a friend message me that's
Yeah.
finally started doing skincare. And I've been doing skincare for several years because I used to focus again, you know, you think about what you're focusing on. I was focusing on like, oh, I had acne and I needed to get rid of this acne. Like, I hadn't even seen acne in forever. I mean, like, that's not even a thing anymore for me because I'm healing other areas of my life. Like, it's not the acne that I'm trying to work on. It was digestion at one point, or it was stress levels, or it was whatever, you know, like other things, working through self love, you know, like that manifests through acne, you know, like when you're not loving yourself. And so,
Mhm.
anywho, I love self care or skincare. You know, I do it to just, it feels good. It makes me feel good. And I gua sha my face, you know, so that's part of a ritual that's very meditative to me too, because I'm only focusing on this and my lymphatic drainage and my face and opening up when I can't breathe, you know, with my allergies, you know, it's very crucial. Well, they texted me and they're like, hey, you know, I actually feel like a human again. And I replied, because, you know, I said, instead of talking about skincare, for example, because that's all that they were focusing on, I said, yes, that's why self care is so important. Because that's really what it is. It's a
It
form of
is.
self
Yeah.
care that they're doing. They're adding things into their lives, right? Little by little here. And one of the things that they're adding is skincare for them right now in this moment. And instead of me focusing on the skincare, I talked about self care. So I reframed it back to them to think about it differently. Like, this is a version of self care for you. And you said you feel human again. And I feel like that's their way of saying they feel self love. They're feeding and fueling
Yeah.
themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think all of it is part of that, right? Like
Yeah.
I believe in all of that. Like it doesn't mean that you do one thing and you don't do another, meaning like it's okay to have a skincare routine. I
Yeah.
do that every night myself and it is kind of meditative. Like, you know, I wash my face. I make my
Hmm.
own using oils. I make my own serum that I put on my
Yeah.
face. You know, those kind of things that serve me. And it's all part of self-care, but it's
Hmm.
deeper than just skin. And I love how you help them reframe that. That I love their words, I feel human again. It is a
Yeah.
part of them starting to love themselves,
Yeah.
right? Or put something into themselves. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I
I've been
found,
trying to do that.
yeah,
I don't want to tell people what to think because I
no.
have found myself doing that in the past, right?
Oh, I do it too. I
And
got
so
called out
it's
on it the
like,
other day.
yeah, yeah, you know, Blake, and honestly, even I can joke, like, even in my marriage, Blake's like, why are you telling me how I feel? Because I'm like, I know how you feel more than you do. You know, I don't. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I really tried to work on that. And that was the way I did it by reframing versus telling them, like, I said it from my opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, instead of saying it like that's what they need to think or feel or believe, I said it like, oh, yeah, self care is great. Like, that my version or of me, it came from me, my thoughts and feelings, not what I think they should think or feel.
You know, it's so easy to get drawn back in. I did it just the other day myself. Instead of coming from an I perspective,
Hmm.
I was talking to my husband about a situation with his grandmother, and he called me out. He's like, yeah, that's your belief, not hers. Like,
Hmm.
you're not going to change it. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
And you're right. It is my belief.
Yeah.
And she's going to react the way that she needs to react or be in that situation. And I was totally in judgment and trying to force my opinion on somebody else. And
Yeah.
I was happy he called me out on it because he was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Damn it. But it's so easy to get back into those things, you
Yeah.
know? And it's not bad that I have conviction around my own beliefs, but I have to understand that's my belief. It's not going to, and I'm not going to do my frequency as we've been talking about any help if I go into judgment or try to force what I believe onto somebody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, is there anything else we want to chat about today before we end?
That's on my mind, you know.
Yeah.
Fill yourself with things that are fulfilling. As cliche as that is. I
Yeah.
mean,
Fulfilling for you.
yeah, like what makes you feel good, what helps you to really align, what's good for your high self. And even, you know, actually that brings me back to thinking about it. Sometimes, you know, we've mentioned it like with intentional eating, but it's when you're doing things, you know, ask yourself, is this align with me? Does this align with my high self? Is this what I should be doing? Is this how I should spend my day or my time or my whatever I'm doing? Is this really what is meant for me? Does this serve me in this moment?
Yeah. And I think the other thing is protecting that time,
Hmm.
right? I mean, and like you even said, you know, when we started talking about self care, like you don't like I start my day, not every day because I have other obligations, but how do you make sure that at some point, it doesn't matter when you do it,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point throughout your day, you're protecting your own time to serve yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy for us to get into allowing, I call it deflection.
Yeah.
We let other people take our energy all the time instead of like, no, I have to fill myself up. I have to take these 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever that is, so
Mm-hmm.
that then I can become a full person back to this individual. I can show
Yeah.
up fully for them. So it's also
Exactly.
protecting your time
Yeah.
and protecting those things that serve you.
Yeah. I agree. Because when we mentioned it, it sounded kind of, when I was saying all the things that I've been doing recently, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of shit. But
It is a lot.
I'm
You're doing
doing
great.
all of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not, and it's no one's hurt, no one's upset, everyone's happier, honestly. And I'm sleeping well and my cup's filled and I'm able to give what I need to give to the people that need my time and energy too. But all of it is being done and it's not like somebody's left dying on the street. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
sometimes we think like, oh, when I keep doing more and more and more, how am I giving away? But it's really the opposite of what, like exactly what you're saying. You have to pour into yourself where you can pour out.
Yeah, and I think when you do it and to exactly what you're saying happens, when you serve yourself first and you're
Mhm.
truly fulfilled within the ingredients that you're putting out, your frequency shifts and everything balances. It
Yep,
just works. It's like
exactly.
you can't intellectually think about how you can make it work. You just have to do it and see how it
And it all
shifts.
works.
And it always does. Yeah, better than you could even imagine.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, make your self-care routine. Individualize it for yourself, thinking about your mind, your body, and your spirit. Think about the ingredients you're taking in.
Yes. And cut the
And
weeds.
I'll keep you guys posted if I can ever give up Housewives.
Yeah. To be continued.
To be continued. Salt Lake City Housewives starts this week.
Tune
Shameless
in
plug. Well, until next time, keep your vibrations way high.
and stay sassy.